with those Marines and going to be blasting away, but the War Prison is going to be coming in to reinforce as well. The Void Rays are down to just a few HP, and here where is that War Prison going to settle? Going to settle right here. So Socke going to be able to reinforce, and BratOK just bring in a bunch more Marines and Vikings in the air. Looking at the income, 71 over 33 Harvesters, Socke is definitely trying to out macro him the best that he can. Now that the Vikings are there, they're going to take free shots at the Void Rays in the air. My mind is going blank as I just saw a command center being thrown down here. Not going to be good for BratOK, although I don't think Socke sees that. So I think he's just trying to run up and using this High Templar and Charge Lock combination to wipe out the SCVs for BratOK. BratOK has been the entire game behind in Harvester count and will continue to do so, as there's nothing Terran can actually do other than building more command centers to pump out SCVs. Zerg players can just kind of mass drone if they wanted to, and Protoss can just kind of chrono boost at all their nexuses. So looks like an attack move for Socke. It looks like he sees this command center is going to be taking it down. BratOK will probably cancel this in time, and now going to be coming back to reinforce a little bit here as well. Missile turret established now for BratOK, and BratOK I think wiped out that only pylon here. Has to move back to kind of take care of this. Slice Arm will be going down on this army, and are there any medevacs right now for BratOK? BratOK using trying to attack on the back end right now, and multiple pronged attacks going down on both sides. No medevacs really here, and I think unfortunately BratOK temporarily distracted by what was going on there, and now wiped out the force here. So I'm missing all sorts of action. This War Prism still standing here, holding the ground as well, and Socke does have the Xel'Naga Watchtower. The lone Marauder trying to blast away at the Nexus, and able to, I think it was canceled actually, and reestablished there for Socke. So nice try by BratOK, still pressuring his opponent from all sides. Another Templar being morphed in with this War Prison right here, and now Socke has firmly established himself on the map, and it looks like another attack was attempted back here. There is this medevac with still a few more units out there right now trying to poke away, but looking at the Harvester count, Socke is still significantly ahead, and the army count 180 over 140 at this point for Socke. So Socke is significantly ahead right now, and looking at the ground units, wow, +3 attack and +1 armor. No upgrades for the air. Looking at Socke, it's going to be +3 attack for him. So both players dealing a ton of damage. Units going to fall incredibly quickly at this point, as there isn't that much armor out on the map. Still hasn't spotted this War Prison right here, and I think that it could be very dangerous for him. What is going on right now? Both sides are getting attacked. It looks like both of the I'm sorry, I just happened to have clicked onto BratOK's view for a second, so multiple pronged attacks going on for Socke to attack here, and a lone Zealot just kind of holding his ground. Great map control from Socke, and it looks like a big drop for BratOK on the backside. Really wants to try to wipe out these expansions, as these are crucial in this late game for both players. Trying to get in there, and going to be taking out a bunch of side storming damage from the High Templars, but it looks like this force will be able to hold out, and now Socke has to pull back his forces to try to reinforce here, as he realizes this is not just a standard 1 or 2 medevac, but several medevac drop from BratOK, and just taking everything down. Will this Nexus go down in time? It looks like it will, rapidly decelerating, and a great hit and run for BratOK. I don't think he should engage at this point and really just pick up and run. There are way too many Colossus in the air. Medevacs get out of there before everything is killed, and the Medevacs with the units are able to get out of there in time. But now it looks like Socke going to go for a counterattack, whatever he wants. Just this hero War Prison right here. He can counter anytime he really needs to. More EMPs going down, and BratOK trying to take this, but sees that there's our units firing at him from below, trying to take out that pylon. Now going to retreat to attack here as well. Socke has been doing a great job holding the Xel'Naga Watchtowers the entire game. Meanwhile, BratOK does have his mobile floating harassment units in the air as well, and going to be making yet another planetary fortress at this expansion. He is mined out, pretty much almost mined out of his natural, and now slowly going to start mining out of that area too. Finally, that War Prism goes down. Still looking at the Harvester count, 77 over 35. I think BratOK has been trying everything he could in the game to try to pull back into the game, but it looks like he's being severely out-macroed at this point. Incredible that he's still able to hold on and kind of keep Socke guessing as to what's going on, but looking at the army count, Socke is maxed out at this point. but constantly needs to move in that ball and has several units just stationed around. BratOK yet again with another harassment and trying to throw down and trying to harass even more, although he isn't able to take out the bulk of the army, and it looks like a big battle about to occur right now as Socke is maxed out and building out a ton more gateways so he can reinforce quickly. BratOK able to come back as well, and looks like he's almost fully upgraded in his armor. Looking at the armor upgrades, it looks like finally +1 for ground units for Socke as well, and a big epic battle about to occur. Neither player has really tried to take the gold right now. BratOK is still harassing up at the top and trying to figure out when he can attack or trying to retaliate here, trying to hold his ground as best as he can. Finally has established this expansion for himself, but really is being out macroed by his opponent, still able to hold his ground and doing so a lot of hit and run attacks. This medevac finally goes down and Socke finally able to establish his base right there. So big move by BratOK right now, I think, trying to push in on his side of the map. He's still behind and has been behind the entire game as Socke has taken every possible mineral patch on his side of the map at this point, finally going to try to get that gold. Meanwhile, BratOK still hasn't taken the 6 o'clock position and really is behind in the harvester count, has been behind the entire game. I'm not even sure how he's even holding on at this point. 197 over 188. Now his army size is actually comparable to Socke's because of the discrepancy in the harvester count. In fact, I actually say BratOK's army is significantly larger because of the discrepancy. I think there's like something like a 50 harvester discrepancy. So that might mean why he's able to hold on. It looks like the unit composition now, this planetary fortress will probably fall, but unfortunately Socke will be caught a little bit out of position, trapped in the corner. He's not going to be able to kite at all. Going to be moving in to try to take out this other expansion, but EMP is going down, and now BratOK going to try to take his revenge as best as he can, trying to kite away as much as possible, reduce the damage for a little bit, really trying to spread out his units so that and focus fire from the Vikings going down. It looks like everything's just going down for, wow, I can't really tell what's going on right now, but massive battle ensuing. The Vikings are going to be able to wipe out, and reinforcements coming in for BratOK from behind. At the same time, he was still battling up at the top and took out one of those nexuses. So BratOK now moving in at the front, and looks like he is actually pulling ahead, or actually pulling back up, although there's so many work gates out for Socke right now that he can just reinforce almost instantly. Looking at the production tab, yeah, just like a ton of units being reinforced at all times, and to just, you know, like an entire army reestablished. BratOK finally going to be able to try to attempt to take the gold expansion, although incredibly risky. Socke has a triplet of observers, multiple triplets of observers out on the field. Doesn't want to lose them very quickly, and now this gold expansion probably going to be at risk for Socke. BratOK now going to try to push in. Looking at the army count, things are actually evening out pretty decently for both sides, and BratOK just doing an incredible job with multiple drops, two-pronged attacks, and trying to get in there as best as he can. Looking at the unit composition, though, he doesn't have as many ground units as he would need against this much of Socke, so this could be unfavorable to him if he's caught out of position. Trying to take down this Nexus if he can and stim, and it looks like the Nexus does go down and now going to be retreating, but meeting up with the forces of Socke as he's going to get surrounded and not going to be able to kite away. Looks like the ground forces aren't that many, and trying to pull up into the air. Feedback going down on the medevacs, and now going to be dropping into the main of Socke at this point. I'm trying to keep my eye on the minimap to see if anything else crazy is going on, and just pushing in, and looks like he's able to take out one gateway. Not going to do a ton of damage though, but Socke able to reinforce very, very quickly. And unfortunately for BratOK, his gold expansion is going to be taken out. He's almost mined out of this base and just has no more bases left to mine. The entire game is behind 87 to 28 harvesters, so largely Socke has been just throwing wave after wave after wave of units in, and knows that he has a huge advantage. BratOK still trying to deny as much as he possibly can, with like almost fully upgraded units, and able to withstand a good amount of side storm at this point. But looks like Haas is kind of forced now to just pretty much go all in. He's mined out of everywhere, really needs to try to establish some sort of expansion, but is going to have a lot of trouble taking this at this point. And Socke has been under fire the entire time. BratOK has never relented at all in the entire game, but I think at this point, yeah, it looks like BratOK's going to run out of his bag of tricks, and unfortunately for him, is just not mining enough to really produce and outproduce his opponent at this point. So great job for BratOK for holding off this entire time, but it looks like the macroing of Socke this game is just going to be too powerful for BratOK to hold out against. And now it looks like the final hurrah as the final charge is going to be coming in, and once this expansion goes down, once this expo goes down for BratOK, I think it's pretty much going to be game for him. Trying his very best to try to throw off some EMPs, but huge force now coming in for Socke, and 187 to 92, although a bunch of those are in the harvester count, so you could actually say it's like 130 to 93. Still a significant amount of army difference right there, and it looks like this might be the last hit for BratOK. We probably will see a GG pretty soon at this point is what there we go. A GG from BratOK, an epic game on both sides. Socke just showing off his macro skills, and BratOK constantly harassing, still able to survive even though he was down by 50 harvesters. So great game from both players. Socke takes game 1, and I'm off to cast the rest of the games. This has been JCS StarCraft, and I'm signing off.